Reviewer Group Hangout number 5. And if you're wondering about number 4, that is on Jeremy's channel, aka Stupid Chainsaw Productions channel, and the link will be down below in the description if you haven't seen it already.
Yeah, watch it.
So this is, yeah, please watch it. Please check out Jeremy's channel and subscribe as well. So let us just do some introductions. And yeah, so I'm Jango Fett. I am the creator of Star Wars Reviewers, the Facebook page, as well as Crossroads of the Omniverse. If you want to check those out, the links will be in the description. Please, I mean, we just talk everything about Star Wars on Star Wars Reviewers. So if you want to join, please do. So I also do comic reviews, movie reviews, TV show reviews, pretty much everything. I like to talk about everything. So yeah, I mean, you're obviously watching it on my channel, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do. So let's go on to the next person. Why don't you, whoever it is, introduce yourself.
Hey there, I'm Jeremy from Stupid Chainsaw Productions, just as Django said I was. And Stupid Chainsaw Productions is an outlet on YouTube where I talk about comics, I complain about the packaging of movies, I review books, I rant on my toilet, and I keep the Star Wars Expanded Universe alive, much to Dylan's disagreement. And Gangster Boy over there's disagreement.
So why don't we go to Gangster Boy? Go ahead, Tristan.
Yeah.
Now begins another fantastic hangout.
Oh, he came back.
I don't know what the heck happened there. But
You guys missed it right before we started recording. There was some kind of earthquake, or he fell off his bed, and
Momentary aneurysm.
Balls, that it was pretty weird.
yeah.
oh yeah, so I'm Ordo, and I have a channel on YouTube. And oh yeah, well I only use the Minox channel now, so check that one out. It has all the podcasts except for 19 Part 2, which I need to get on.
And 19.
Ain't that right, Dylan?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. So I do videos. I don't even do videos anymore. Fuck videos. No, yeah, all I have going is the podcast, and I have some pages. The main one is Pre-Disney Stars in the Expanded Universe, which I only piss people off on. So, yeah, that's the main one I use, and so go like that one. And that's about it.
Okay. Dylan.
You son of a bitch.
I'm Dylan, or if you're on Facebook, you probably know me better as John Tuttle. I have 2 pages. I admin Disney Lucasfilm Pledge Writing Campaign and the events page, the Alliance Expanded Universe. I also co-admin and the Star Wars Expanded Universe Fans for More Legends group, and I'm a very active member in the Pro Expanded Universe community. That's me.
Okay. Ben?
Well, I'm Ben, also known as the Bumbling Beaver on YouTube. I occasionally make videos when I have the time, just mostly let's plays, some mod showcases, stuff like that. I'm more involved with like the Star Wars reviewers and the Crossroads of the Omniverse groups on Facebook, but I'll probably make some more videos this summer just for the heck of it. Anyway, I'm not even gonna put in a plug in because I don't care. There you go.
All right. We like this badass over here. All right. So let's get on. Yeah, don't care. So let's get on to the first topic, Armada Fantasy Flight. So Dylan, you have the floor on this.
Okay, well, I recently purchased Armada, one of the core games, one of the games Fantasy Flight has been producing. For all of you Expanded Universe fans, yes. So far, Armada is all follows the continuity of the expanded universe, now brand new under Legends, but still Expanded Universe. The game is really fun. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would, which was a lot because I was playtesting the game, and or not really playtesting, but I had a demo of the game for me, and it was really fun. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, everyone. Max has decided to come.
Yeah, I
Mad
told you it
Max?
would be his cat first.
I took phone. Person took cat. Thank God, none of us.
Is it only for me that Dylan's screen is going black?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just you. Yeah.
Well, I'm sick of colors. No colors anymore. I want them to turn black.
Okay.
Does anyone understand that reference?
Yeah, I said it with you. Of course I understood it.
Okay, good, good.
Okay.
No.
Anybody else?
Paint it black.
Anybody else
Rolling
have the
Stone.
topic here?
Great song. Check it out.
Tristan.
Random
Why
song.
you?
What? Okay, Armada.
We've already gotten sidetracked. Armada.
Let's stick with Armada, please. And anybody else want to elaborate? Armada, because I'm not familiar with
played
it.
Armada, but I've played the X-Wing miniatures game from also done by Fantasy Flight, and I love it. And what Fantasy Flight is doing right now, it's like the West End games. What West End games did back in the '80s when Star Wars was almost dead. They just kept releasing really good content. And with Edges of the Empire and Age of Rebellion, they're
It's Edge of the Empire, not Edges.
oh, fuck off, Tristan. Where viewers, this is what Tristan does to me.
By the way, viewers, this is all an
You
act.
and that.
Off camera, they're just like, they're practically married. I mean, they're in the
They're in a codependent relationship.
But and now they have Force and Destiny coming out sometime this year.
It's Q3, so whenever that is.
Yeah, exactly. I don't.
What? Wait, what?
It's released Q3, or at the beginning of third quarter.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought you
whenever
said
that,
KOTOR 3. I was like,
KOTOR
what?
3, yes, they're releasing
When
with
is that
KOTOR.
coming?
If that happened, the internet would explode.
The same time Half-Life 3 is coming out.
The internet would really explode then.
And Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else for Armada?
Mm-mm.
No?
No,
Okay.
I really want to play it, but I haven't.
I want to check this out
Flight is
now.
awesome. Buy their stuff.
Yeah, I bought.
Sounds very interesting.
I bought Age of Rebellion. I'm not terribly familiar with the rule set yet, but it looks kind of interesting.
The whole they created their own dice system with RPGs, so you have to get their own dice.
I still have to get the damn dice.
I made a key actually with
If you buy the core game, it includes the dice for you.
I just bought a set of the dice, and then my buddy and me sat and we actually drew out like a key so we could just use regular dice.
Oh, that works.
We decided to go roll 20 with it. We can actually we have a key.
So you convert it? Oh yeah, they have a conversion chart for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I made one before there was a conversion.
No, you did.
You got a conversion chart before it was cool.
Yeah, I know. Makes me a hipster.
It's pretty underground there.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get on to the next topic then.
What would that be?
That would be the new Battlefront game. I want to get your guys' thoughts of the game because
Now, everyone, we need to have a preference of here. Django came multiple times. He climaxed during his trailer reaction.
yeah, if you haven't seen it, check out my channel.
Jacob,
You'll see what I mean.
put it in the
See what I mean.
description down below, and you should put as the title, I climaxed. Over and over.
Perfectly good pair of underwear, too.
Oh God.
I'm just gonna say this.
It's a legit reaction though. I'm not bullshitting or faking. It's real.
If it
Completely
weren't
real.
for Johnny at the Battlefront Network convincing me to pre-order it, I wouldn't have done it.
What the fuck? They convinced you?
Yes, Johnny did. Yeah, Johnny.
Lord of the Sith, and now
What the
this.
fuck is wrong with
Oh,
you?
God damn it! Not this Benedict Arnold shit again. For the love of
Lord
fuck.
Benedict Arnold.
Okay, we'll save this for the after show.
You shut your whore mouth, Tristan.
Dickhole. Such a dickhole.
Now, honestly, the trailer didn't show the actual gameplay per se.
No.
So I think we should reserve judgment on whether it's going to be a great game or an awful and terrible game. And we can't really base it off Battlefront 1 and 2 because those are by different. This is a different developer altogether.
Right.
Different game. We
Yeah,
can't
it's
really
not Star Wars. It's Disney Wars.
Amen, bro.
Not Star Wars. Anyway,
No, it's Dice Wars.
yeah,
Dice Wars.
pretty much.
It might as well just be, what, Battlefield in space?
Mhm.
Except there's no space missions, right?
Ain't that the fucking irony?
Battlefield, a long time ago, in the galaxy far, far away.
Well, you could say the same thing about the Force Awakens trailer for a movie called Star Wars. There wasn't a lot of stars in
That's
the
true.
trailer, with the exception of Harrison Ford.
Let's not shit on Harrison Ford. Oh man.
That star has a broken leg. And you probably
apparently-
crashed the Millennium Falcon. Oh shit.
Apparently he is flying again, so... Cool?
Just
Yay.
like fly around my town. I don't want another.
Yeah, as long as you're not the pilot, Harrison.
It's the Harrison Ford cruise missile.
So apparently, the new Battlefront game will have DLC included. I think it's day one DLC, and I'm not surprised. This is a prototypical EA move. They do this for every game practically.
I thought EA was supposed to be under
It's a
new
cash
man,
grab.
but they're just rehashing the same old trash all the time. It's the same old garbage business moves. It's like, oh, fans want this, let's do something completely different. And make it
Yeah,
make
like Call
get
of
more
Duty.
money.
It's up there. It's at least they're not selling
Yeah.
amiibos. They're already doing Star Wars amiibos for Disney Infinity.
I know.
Made me puke in my mouth when I found that out.
Yeah, I puked a lot in my mouth.
Amiibo. Can we just clear the air here? I think I speak for almost everyone here. Amiibos are like the biggest cash grab
Mhm.
ever.
Well,
You buy them,
I thought like the whole, what was it, the Skylanders thing, when they first started doing that, I was like, that's like the biggest cash grab, and now everybody's doing it. You know, oh, toys you can put in games, so we can sell you ridiculously expensive figures that don't do anything.
Are they really toys?
Not really.
My cousin has Skylanders. They're kind of durable. You can play with them if you wanted to. I'm not sure how they would stand up like over time, but then toys a lot of times break anyway.
No.
But
They're more like a statue because they don't really have articulation, really.
no, you kind of have to manipulate them a lot to get like fighting actions if you're gonna fight them.
That's asking for them to break.
No, like manipulate them by like.
Are we gonna do that?
And Tristan's gone again.
Gangster boy got
This is
triggered.
normal at this point,
I'm gonna
guys.
demonstrate with this, like and manipulating them by having like them go like this with their like swords or whatever.
Oh, I thought you meant like with the Skylanders, the dragons, you're moving their wings.
And Tristan's back.
damn thing doesn't work. Stupid shit.
Tristan, by the way, I would never buy amiibos. Ever.
Good. Good,
No.
because you
Look at my
will
shelf.
buy it.
Look at my shelf. How am I can barely fit the books I buy on there. I gotta
Hey, I
get
never said
both
you could buy
copies of
amiibos.
Lords of the Sith on this shelf. And get my
Clorox on that shelf.
Jeremy, if they made a play with Amiibo,
Jeremy.
See, if you move that Clorox, you'd have plenty of room for amiibos.
No. It's got
Jeremy, you want to know where you can put Lord of the Sith?
up your ass. It turns it on him. It makes the lag.
Put it out again.
I won. So, Django.
Okay.
To talk about
And Tristan's gone.
Battlefronts. Are
Well,
you excited?
I am excited, definitely, as you could tell by the reaction. I'm really reserved at the same time because it's very limited compared to Battlefront 2 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got to look at it as a completely different game.
Oh, go on.
And I just say I'm just really excited at the same time, and I'm gonna wait till E3 when they actually show something, hopefully, and not another trailer again. I'd be a little pissed if there's another trailer without gameplay. For so long,
My guess is probably what they're doing is they're making it like limited. Now they're gonna release it like only like 4 or 5 planets. The maps are supposed to be big or something, but they're probably making it limited now so they can sell like a gazillion map packs later.
Yeah, they're going to do the Arkham Knight thing where there's $40 in DLC for Arkham Knight.
It could be 50.
$100. So,
Gaming in general nowadays, like Battlefront 1 and 2, they were sold as pretty much complete games. And nowadays, you sell a video game as let's sell 50% of the game on launch, if that, and then release everything else, throw the 50% on DLC. And
DLCs are cash grabs these days.
I didn't have much of a problem with DLC if the game is complete and then you're like, well, we don't really feel like making another game. Why don't we release something to spice up something like a map pack or something?
Like something
like Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas did it successfully.
Yeah,
Fallout New Vegas, Skyrim,
Skyrim, Max Payne.
Granted, those are
Red Dead
RPGs and they're in
Redemption.
the category, but
Yeah, and they were made significantly after the game was out. They were, but with what like Arkham Knight's doing and all these old games do, they just released like a 20% version of the game. And it's like, oh, buy our little Skylanders. You got to put them on your controller. Where's my controller? Here's my controller. They're like, ooh, I got to stick them on here and wait for them to scan in. I need to play another character. Got to scan it in.
Yeah, definitely.
And
I miss expansion packs. That's why I miss.
yeah, like when it actually got something physical with it.
Yeah, because expansion packs usually came like on their own disc. It was like their own box. It was basically their own game. That you had to have the base game, but you'd get the complete base game, and then they'd expand on it instead of a part of the game, and then let's fill the rest in.
When was the last time they released something like that? I want to say Fallout 3.
what?
Probably.
Fallout 3, man.
But it's sad. It's really sad that video gaming has come to this.
I mean, we have no problem with DLC, but only if it's done right. But the trend with EA, they don't do DLC right. Most of their games, maybe SimCity, for example, that game was loaded with DLC. That was just, I mean, that game was
Mass Effect
broken.
2 and 3.
Well, I can argue with maybe 2. Well, actually 3. 3 I can argue with because there are some DLCs in there that actually add, like it feels like an expansion of sorts.
Well, right. Like the Citadel DLC is probably my single favorite piece of DLC I've ever purchased.
Same here. It's the funniest
for
thing
any
ever.
game because it was fantastic.
Oh my god.
But like those games had a lot of DLC. It was just like $10 for 2 new weapons or something. And did the weapons really change the game, the core game itself? Not really. So Oh,
It was redundant.
a little bit, yeah, a little bit redundant.
So
Mhm.
let me backpedal a little bit here to my thoughts on if I'm excited or not for the new Battlefront. Yes and no. I think I just have this big curiosity of what it's going to be.
Yeah, same here.
So that's why I pre-ordered it.
Yeah, we know.
You look at my asshole. I don't know.
I'm a bit apathetic myself about it because all that we've gotten so far is just hype. You know, everybody's aboard the hype train, and we've seen nothing. And half the stuff we actually know about is rumor and circumspect anyway. So I'll be interested to see what it's like, but I also don't have a godly computer, and I don't have a next-gen console, so I won't be playing it anytime soon.
Oh.
So it doesn't really matter too much to me. I'll be more interested.
Again, and then you can get the money by that time. Or
Stop.
Hey, you know what? I'll keep playing Battlefront 2 with more features than the new Battlefront, including.
Yeah, let's talk about Battlefront 2 as well, because I know Tristan, you're playing that game right now, and
I was
I'm actually getting bored with the vanilla maps.
Yeah, you definitely want some mods. Battlefront 2 has some amazing mods that you have to try out.
Go for
Hell, there's one I saw of Starship Troopers. An entire recreation of Starship Troopers with Battlefront 2. It is
I think somewhere there's a Star Trek
incredible.
mod.
They have one of Mass Effect.
Yeah, I
actually have Mass Effect.
I actually have the Mass Effect mod. Like a mod I would definitely recommend to you would be like the Dark Fort. What is it? Dark Times 2 Rising Sun mod.
Great. I love that.
It has like its own little campaign, and it just changes the game so much.
There's also a Galactic Conquest with it too. Right?
Yeah, there is. There's a Galactic Conquest with it.
Completely
Also, the Conversion Pack 2.2.
Oh, that's
I
my
think it
favorite.
is.
Yes.
Yeah, it takes. It's kind of a pain in the ass to set up, but once you got it going, there's so much more stuff to it. It expands your game like, I don't know. What would you say, Django? Is it like 30 maps or something like that, and new eras, and I know there's like 60-some new units and heroes and stuff. It's crazy.
And there's tons of modes, a ton of maps. There's
The one that
a
gives
new
you all
era, the KOTOR era.
Right.
Yeah, the KOTOR era. There's that in there.
Oh my god. And then there's the different modes, like Uber mode. You can fight against like hundreds of enemies at a time. It's incredible.
Deathmatch.
That's my favorite mode. Yeah.
Deathmatch is fun.
Dogfight too, I think.
Yes, I love Dogfight. That was also in, I think that was also in the Dark Times 2 mod, because the guy who created that was one of the guys who helped with like the conversion pack, and so some of those modes transferred between those.
It's a damn good mod.
But yeah, basically Battlefront. I'm gonna go PC Master Race here for a moment because Battlefront 2 is the best on the PC because of all the mods out there.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Do you guys recommend any more mods?
It's like a whole new game.
Yeah.
What?
Absolutely.
I don't know. BFX. It's a pain in the ass, but I really like it.
Oh, the Extreme mod, right?
Oh, yeah, I haven't tried that one.
Yeah, well, it's basically like you get more classes and stuff, and everything's like overpowered, pretty much. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain.
I think there's also a Halo mod with blood culture match. I love.
I think there is.
Yeah.
I don't think I've played that one yet, but there's also like a Christmas map too, where you can be Santa with the candy cane lightsaber. I love that map. And you can drive in cars, and you just run people over. It's like GTA. Yeah.
I also like Aldura campaign. The only thing about it though is that it's unfinished.
Yeah.
The guy
Yeah, it
never
is.
made a part 2.
Well, if you're looking to get the new Battlefront game and you have it on the PC instead of getting all the DLC, look forward to the.
Yeah.
If they make it
Yeah.
moddable, because that's another thing that they're another trend in gaming.
Oh, they'll find a way. There's always people who find a way to mod
Life-
a game.
They're just making
Life
difficult
finds a
already.
way.
I'll find a way to mod my
Very true, Ben.
PS4.
Hey now, there's no need to be obscene.
Um,
Most of us are mature adults here.
No,
Most.
especially you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next topic. I just want to make a mention of this new site. I have a link down below in the description. It is the Star Wars EU website, Star Wars Expanded Universe Continues website, and it's created by Dave Lombardi, and he basically told me that the website is up, and just to register, send your Star Wars EU stories and whatever to the website, and post whatever Star Wars content you want onto the website. So I just want to put you just shout out to Dave about the website. So links below in the description. So please check it out, guys. Okay.
I'll have to check this out. I think there's
Yeah. Please.
there's like links to it on the Facebook page too, right?
Yes, Star Wars Readers. Yep.
I just haven't gotten a chance to. All right, I'll have to check that out then.
Okay. And then let's talk about what we are reading.
well, do we want to talk about the EU prequel EU first, or do you want to do that?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
The
Yeah,
what?
I forgot about that.
Okay. Do you want me to lead in?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeremy.
So, for those of you who are viewers of my channel, you know that I reviewed a book called Star Wars Darth Plagueis. You know that I loved it, and I talked about how it enhanced Episode 1 and Episode 2. Well, it isn't the only book that did that. There are many books that actually enhanced the movies and even made things clearer as to why things went the way they did in the movies.
Well, the books or the EU in general does that really.
Yeah. And so what we wanted to talk about today are why, because I talked to a lot of people who are like, well, I don't really care about the EU. What has it done to for the movies? And then I'll tell them like, hey, it made sense of why the Trade Federation would put a blockade over Naboo.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It made the prequels watchable.
oh
like-
yeah,
So you watch the prequels first, like me. You watched the prequels first because I was a kid when they came out, and I was like, oh, I thought they were great, and then I got old and like they're okay movies. Then I get into the EU, and it's like, it all makes sense now. And then I watch them again, like, oh, that's a reference to that, yeah, because that happened there, and
Yep.
holy that, and you're connect the dots, and it's just like, oh,
Basically, yeah.
Darth Plagueis was a great book.
that's one of the best.
Oh man, yes.
Yeah, it is one, I would say it's one of the best like single novels in the expanded universe.
Yeah, pretty recent too for the
Yeah.
expanded universe. And it's great.
They come out 2011, 2012.
yeah, 2011, 2012.
I mean, for the but as for the expanded universe itself, I'm just saying that was like one of the greatest that was recent
Yeah.
Yeah.
at that time.
Uh,
I just loved it because as also a comic viewer, comic reader, and reading a lot of the I think the Jedi Council books, Acts of War, all the Republic comics before Episode 1.
Yep.
It connects the dots of all those comics, all mentions of Darth Maul and Sidious. It just made it just made
There's
complete
even
sense. I loved it.
there's original trilogy connections too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You see, a good EU writer can connect things that happened 50 years later, or hundreds of years later.
Yep.
For instance, there's a part in the Tales of the Jedi: The Sith War. There's
Yep.
one
Oh yeah.
panel
I know what you're talking about.
where he tells Exar Kun tells this thing to go wait in these isolation chambers for their last surprise, and you wonder what happened to that. Well, it shows up in the Star Wars comic strip from the 70s.
Yeah.
It fights this dark side beast.
Yep.
It
I
is-
mean, at the end of Knights of the Old Republic comic series, Jerry is talking to Zane. He's like, "Aren't Jedi supposed to, are the Jedi supposed to not have attachment or like lovers?" And he's like, and Zane basically says, "Yeah, there's some Jedi who believe that, but they're not going to gain any traction." And they kind of laugh it off. You read that knowing what's going to happen in the prequels, like, oh, that's when it started.
Yeah.
You know?
Or like in the original Knights of the Old Republic game, you can talk to Candace Ordo, and he tells you a story about how his Mandalorian group happened to meet these strange asteroid-like ships that fired like magma or whatever at them, and you're like, it's the Yuzan Vong.
Yep.
I
Which
didn't
one-
know like years later.
Yeah. Me too.
Well, when I first played that game, I already, because I didn't get to play it till long after it had come out, and I already knew about the Yuzan Vong. I'm like, he's talking about Yuzan Vong.
You're freaking out. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like sitting there silently freaking out
Yeah.
because I was sitting around my family, and they're looking at me, they're like, what are you so happy about? I was like, you wouldn't get it. It's okay. Just go back to your lives.
They connected it to like episode 2.
What's that?
They connected it to like episode 2.
Yeah.
With the mention of one of Krea's predictions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me pose this question to all of you. What is your favorite EU connection? It doesn't have to be connected to the movies. It could be connected to anything.
Oh, that's fucking weird. That's hard.
That's a tough one.
Oh, do you want me to start here?
Yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
think of one.
Go ahead.
So, my favorite is in Darth Plagueis. They talk about Kamari Vosa and the Bando Gora.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And that's a reference to Star Wars Bounty Hunter, the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me, because I sat there for a moment and I'm like, what is that? And then I almost crapped my pants.
You're like, Kamari Vosa.
And then I creamed them with joy, like what Django did during the Battlefront trailer.
Oh, God.
And now I get permabanned from Star Wars Hangouts.
You're
You're
banned.
Banned.
As long as you don't talk about anything other than Star Wars.
Right. You talk about other things, though.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oh man. Goodbye, Jeremy.
Any of you guys have
Goodbye.
one?
I didn't do anything.
I'm
I'm
thinking.
still trying to think of one, so. Or like think of my favorite. I know there are a lot, but I'm like.
Yeah.
That is not easy.
No.
I guess I really liked the kind of the connections between, how like in Tales of the Jedi they had the whole Frida Nad uprising,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and like Frida Nad himself, and I think I really liked how his tomb basically became a constant, almost like a motif in a lot of those old Republic stories, because you had Exar Kun visit his tomb, speak to his ghost, all that stuff. You had Darth Bane visit his tomb, all these different people, And I just really like that connection. How like even when the spirit was gone, his tomb was still such a place of evil, and all kinds of crazy things happened for like the bad guys there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's one I can think of like off the top of my head. Also, the fact like Marco Ragnos, how his spirit comes to play like 5,000 years later in Jedi Academy. I really like that as well.
That's very true. Yep.
I would have to say, and this is kind of cheating because it's a multitude of things, but like all the hints throughout the Star Wars timeline, the Yuzhan Vong were coming.
Yeah. Yep.
Like the one you mentioned, the Num Amor being in. You didn't even know who he was, but in Crimson Empire 2, you saw this hood guy who was kind of like causing some trouble, and you later find out who that is, but like...
Oh, you do find out who that is.
Mm-hmm.
No, Anor.
Anor, yeah. And then the biggest one in the Thrawn, the Hand of Thrawn duology, when like all of Thrawn's like people are basically saying there's threats out there, they're coming. You know, we need to be prepared for it. And like you're reading that note, and I was reading that knowing what's going to happen in New Jedi Order, and I'm like, for the love of God, someone ask them what these people are talking about. Someone ask them what they're talking about.
You know what kind of the interesting story behind Nam Anor was? That character was actually created by, I don't remember who wrote Crimson Empire, but they created Nam Anor as sort of like a spy or a front runner to alien invasion of the galaxy, but they had their own little thing planned out that they were going to start going through like comics and stuff. But then like I think a larger group of authors were like, oh yeah, we have all these hints or whatever. Let's create like the Yuzhan Vong. Let's start dropping hints. So basically, two different groups of Star Wars authors were planning an invasion, and the Yuzhan Vong idea superseded the original idea for Nam Anor and his race, because his whole thing was going to be, I think, their original plan for an invasion was going to be a little more like Force users, more Sithy, kind of like that. And then they went with the Yuzhan Vong thing.
Well, that was because of Del Rey getting the rights back to Star Wars, as opposed to Bantam continuing it. Because let's face it, Bantam was doing the same thing over and over and over again. The Empire is a doomsday device, and they're going to try to take control of the galaxy.
Trying to recreate
new families kidnapped.
Hey, you know what's interesting though is that George Lucas vetoed for New Jedi Order to be about Force users, like Sith.
I just said that. He vetoed their original idea.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He also approved he vetoed their original choice for who dies in the first novel, and then approved their second choice.
Yeah, wasn't it Luke Skywalker they wanted to kill originally?
Yes, and then they ended up with no spoilers here.
Oh, you guys already spoiled a lot anyways, might as well go on.
Well, we didn't spoil it on the Hangout, we just spoiled it directly to you.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are like the masters of spoiling. Oh, like almost worse.
Oh, Tris, pity party of one.
I'm pretty sure that spoiler is probably common knowledge by now.
No, you know what's a common knowledge?
I just thought you wanted to
Chewbacca died.
Sorry, I decided to talk
That
to
is
him
common
bad,
knowledge. There's the difference.
Okay.
No, it is common knowledge, though. On shot first.
I had to explain that to someone today.
Not to George Lucas, though.
I did. It's just one of my
Is
friends.
this not what you wanted? Are you not entertained? That's kind of like his special edition or whatever. Is this not why you came?
Should make a special edition of the special edition.
Hey, when are they going to make a special edition of the prequels or the holiday special?
A special edition of the holiday special would be the most hated abomination in the.
I'd love it. I'd buy it. I'd buy 5 copies of it.
I wouldn't.
Oh, I'd buy it.
It's with 5 lucky fans.
5 very lucky fans.
Hey,
and
man.
we would unsubscribe, and I'd be back to like everyone would unsubscribe, and no one would watch my stuff again. I'm waiting for the special edition of Dave Filoni's Clone Wars movie.
No, I'm waiting for the special edition of the original trilogy where Ahsoka comes in.
Oh yeah. And then you can see Salat in the background with his stun gun lightsaber. The Inquisitor with his lightsaber that doesn't make any logical sense.
Right.
Mark.
I do like the lightsaber design, honestly, for the Inquisitor, but no, it doesn't make a lot of
Doesn't make
sense.
any sense. How does that work?
Whatever, dude. Technology. Magic. Force.
How does the damn crossguard lightsaber work?
It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. That doesn't work. Not
I
how
actually like that
It's
design
not even
also.
Star Wars, Disney Wars. Anyway,
I heard someone say like it's the same thing. It just has 3 focusing lenses, and
No.
that was his logic. Oh yeah, the focus. He just has 3 of them, and they point in 3 different directions. And there's a big one in the middle and 2 small ones on the side. And I'm like,
Oh.
you know how lightsabers work?
No.
You know the
The whole-
focus.
Well, this whole argument, I'm just sitting here going, it's made up technology. The way it works is by literally you have to create the crystal with the Force, which isn't real. Get over it.
Yeah, the Force is real. What are you talking about, dude?
No, it
Of course,
isn't.
it's real. There's a whole religion about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's real. Just because there's a religion about the flying spaghetti monster, that doesn't mean he's real.
That's real, dude.
Hey, you
Yeah,
just
Pastafarianism.
hey, the Force is real. It's in you. It's in me. It's in all of us.
It's in the rock, in the tree,
There's no death. There's the Force.
in the computer.
How do you have a midichlorian count?
Me?
You've been cut off from the Force.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm a
you-
ginger. I eat souls. I'm pretty sure I'm cut off from the Force. I'm fairly certain.
I want to write fan fiction just so I can make a ginger Jedi.
Are there any Yes, Mara Jade is a ginger.
She's a daywalker. There's a difference.
Hey, bud.
That's true.
We're talking full-on Nightwalker here. Ooh.
All right. What were we talking about?
We're talking about connections.
Oh,
So who's
yeah.
next?
I'll go next.
Oh, what? Speaking of connections, what did you guys think of the? What was it called again? Was it the Vector crossover comic thing that Dark Horse tried?
It starts out good and it ends well,
Yeah.
but it's
Jeremy
garbage in the middle. That was the worst way to end Rebellion. Ugh.
I only read the bookends
Yeah.
of it, which were very, like Jeremy said, were very good. So, but that's still only half of the story.
It was tacked on.
Yeah.
Very.
It made sense in Legacy because it did kind of push the plot.
Mm-hmm.
Legacy.
Pushed the plot in
And
the wrong direction, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was definitely a cool idea when it was
It
first
was.
announced.
Oh yeah, I'm
Right.
it was an interesting idea. It
And
just,
to be honest, out of all the comic universes, Star Wars made the most sense to do an event in because you didn't have to work. It was all one continuity anyway. So
Yeah.
You're right.
you didn't have to.
you can consider the New Jedi Order an event because it's not one series technically.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
event, so to speak, technically. But Vector is the official comic book event. It was labeled as an event. It happened like an event. And with all events, there's good stuff and then there's bad. Really,
Yeah.
really bad. I mean,
Star Wars only had one, and that one happened to be bad.
I think the only way it could have been really bad is if Knight Errant was involved.
Oof.
Yeah. See,
Django just got car sick.
I actually liked the Knight Errant novel. It kind of dragged on a little bit, but I did like the novel. But the comic was not very good.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's terrible. It's garbage.
Great. It was.
It's garbage.
I mean, it's written by John Jackson Miller, who did an epic job with the Knights of the Republic series, and he completely fucked it
I know.
up with Knight Errant.
Yeah, he did.
He got two arrows.
Good stuff is bad, okay?
That's the thing with John Jackson Miller. He's just hit or miss. It's either really good or just really bad.
I mean, he throws out some KOTOR, you know, some Kenobi, and then you get the Knight Errant. And
new John.
Did he write Kenobi?
Yes.
Kenobi is amazing.
That's
Yeah, that was a good book.
Work. Well, besides KOTOR, I think KOTOR's #1 and Kenobi is his greatest novel. He also wrote. His main thing was the Old Republic. And he wrote Lost Tribes of the Sith.
I liked Lost Tribes of the Sith.
Fun fact about Kenobi. Did you know that was actually intended to be a comic series? He told me this. It was supposed to be a comic series, but it went on too long. Like, his plan went too long for a comic series, so he decided to make it a book.
Okay.
Yeah, he sent me the show notes or something like that about what the behind the scenes.
Okay.
Django, have you come up with your EU thing?
Yeah, I did, actually. So in Knights of the Republic, the game, it is after the Tales of the Jedi series.
Right.
And it's weird because there's not really any mention of Tales of the Jedi too much. There's not like recounting of those events until you talk to one character, and that's Jolie Bindo. And that guy is just one of the most amazing characters because like he will talk about pretty much anything, and you just love him for that. So he talks about the past of the, was it the Sith War, and I believe he talks about the Great Hyperspace War as well. But
He's like an old grandpa.
Yeah, he's an old geezer who just talks about
He's
all
an
his
old war
stuff.
veteran.
He's a war veteran, yeah, pretty much.
Back in Nam.
And
Back in there.
there was no mention of Tales of the Jedi until all the events from Tales of the Jedi until he mentioned it himself. So I like that. It was great.
Actually, I think
That was mine.
I think there was a lot of.
Yeah, there were a couple things, but I don't think it was just like too forward compared to talking to Jolie Bindo.
Yeah, like there was like Exar Kun's armor and Keldroma's this and that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And Exar Kun's lightsaber made an appearance in KOTOR.
Was that?
Yeah, comic.
Was that the double? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it did. Yep, I remember that now.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Was it
Supposedly it was
yellow?
Supposedly it was like a cursed object or something.
Yeah, I think it was in War, which is why everyone forgets about it.
Was
In
it in
War?
War? Or was it when they were trying to collect all the Sith artifacts in the middle of?
No, it was the one where when Jerael was trying to find out like about her whole birth thing and like all the force sensitive clones and all that stuff, and then she meets her maker, whatever it was. Goes back to that old academy, and then turns out that Roland was actually that scientist guy.
Wait.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah, it was Demogol.
Demogol. There we go. Yeah. Demogol. Yeah, Roland was actually Demogol like almost the entire time.
Which was completely bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a neat reveal.
It was
because then I went back. It's first of all, has anyone seen Fight Club?
Yeah.
It's kind of like
I think
that.
everybody does.
You get to the reveal at the end, and then you go back, and you're like, they gave it away.
Yeah, exactly.
Several times. He gave it away several times. That was Demogol. But
But there was other things going on that kept like more important things that you kept overlooking.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Well, I remember catching one thing. I'm like, well, that's so weird. And when it was happening, I'm like, well, that's weird character development. Why is
Right.
he doing
Yeah, why is he
this?
changing? Yeah, why is he so serious? He's not talking too much.
Why so serious?
Exactly.
Well, I saw
Right there.
I saw like
Ah.
actually saw the one where like
Got the poster.
human, like you stupid human or whatever. And I
Yeah.
thought, oh, that's a weird editing mistake. I thought it was an editing mistake in the comic I had.
And we've
Yeah.
had that before. I mean, Cade slept with his kind of cousin on accident in Legacy issue 7. And
What's
then they
his
had
cousin again?
the Fells. The Empress Fell was
Oh, that's
cousin,
right.
technically, yeah. And they forgot to draw Blue in. They drew the Empress in. When they collected it, though.
Onto it.
Yeah,
Oh.
for all of you comic book collectors out there, Legacy issues 7 and 8. 7 has a misprint error in it, and Legacy issue 8 has the fixed page. It's one of those underrated keys, in my opinion.
It's a censored page, you know, for American audiences because we can't have cousins sleeping together.
Well, unless you're where Tristan is.
Mm-hmm. In the deep south. Then it's completely fine. Actually, Tristan, I thought they were passing a law that it's actually illegal not to marry your cousin down in the deep south.
You know, actually, there is a town that is not, it's like 30 miles from my hometown, where basically the same families have been there for generations. So, like, everybody is related to everybody. And guess what? No one leaves. Everyone marries each other. Everyone has kids. All these kids have, like, abnormal, like, tooth problems and brittle bones and weird things like that because everyone's related. Oh, yeah. And, like, the kids in the high school will be, like, a guy will be, like, flirting with this one chick, and they'll talk to, and then someone will be like, you do realize that's your cousin, don't you? Yeah, I don't care. It's not a thing.
Yo, how
Yeah.
the hell did we get on this subject?
It's not.
We were
It's
talking
not.
about
I'm
your-
just saying it's. Not, I'm in the north. It's not just in the deep south.
Oh, yeah, Tristan hasn't been here while we made fun of him. Hi, Dylan's mom. Hi.
Shut up,
All
Tim.
right. Anyway, Tristan,
Tristan.
why don't you go next, man? Why don't you
Oh, yeah, well, that's kind of a hard one.
I know exactly.
I
But,
have questions.
god damn it, I just had it a while ago, too. It was one from Republic Commando. I think, I really like the one where they connected to Revenge of the Sith.
Which I haven't gotten to yet.
Or in the game, and no, I mean the book series, it does fill in on what happened to Sev.
Mhm.
Kind of.
Okay, I'll look forward to that when that kind of explanation comes.
Yeah.
I like
You'll see
the part where they have some of the gnolls find out where Grievous is. Because that was like a huge impact in the movie. I also like the ones that connect to the old Republic comics. They mentioned Demogorgon. And
Yeah, there is a few mentions of him.
yeah, I like that. I like those, and I also another one was oh yeah, they also mention a character from the Thrawn trilogy. It's Pelion, or however you say his name.
Oh,
Yeah, he was at the Battle of
Pelion.
Dathakar.
which
So
you
I
would
kind of thought it was.
what?
Huh?
You would have been like a captain at that time, I think.
Yeah.
He was like a captain for most of his career, I think. I don't even know.
He was an
But,
officer of some sort.
I don't know, but
He was in the military.
I don't know, but he was a captain for a long ass time.
Talk about a
But
life
yeah, I thought those were pretty interesting. Those are the only ones I can think of at this moment.
Yeah, there's a lot in Star Wars, and in an attempt to kind of hear listeners, all 6 of you, to participate, what are yours? You know, leave a comment on the YouTube page.
Please do. Yep. So why don't we get on to another topic, what we are reading right now.
Wait, we have 6 listeners? Or watchers?
No, we have 1.
Oh.
Well, 2 technically, because I have it playing in the background.
Yeah, we have 6 listeners. The one person who actually watches us, and the 5 of us.
Oh, okay. I see. Oh, okay.
And that one person who actually watches us is Matt.
Probably. It's probably Matt.
I thought Matt was
Or
supposed
is
to
it
join us.
Tibia?
No, Matt always says he wants to join us, and then he can't.
Oh, he can't, my ass. Yeah, he can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get your ass in here, Matt.
He
Yeah,
just
Matt.
has stage fright.
No, he's not.
That's why he has 2 podcasts and very successful.
Hey, Jeremy, don't be spreading his business all over the internet. Gosh.
Yeah.
You shut
on,
your
Jeremy.
poor mouth, Tristan.
Oh,
I'll shut it.
Whoa,
Listen.
whoa.
You know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, Tristan and I
Nobody.
have a relationship. Tristan doesn't like to admit it, but, you know, we do. It's called we're podcasters.
Hey, admit. There ain't nothing to admit.
Yeah.
All right.
What
So-
were they?
All right, Dylan, why don't you go first, because you sound pretty excited about this topic.
I have to go first. I am reading. I just started it. I just got through the prologue, actually. A New Jedi Order Dark Tide 1 Onslaught. Finished Vector Prime last night. I was going to read this, but I had other plans all day, and then I got home, and yeah, this. If I didn't have all that, I'd probably be done with it by now, because I'm finally excited to actually be reading New Jedi Order, since I love the New Jedi Order era from what I was reading on Wikipedia. Before I read the books, I was all over Wikipedia and New Jedi Order, because I really liked the whole war and the conflict of it. So finally got through all the Phantom books and all the stuff that happened between Return of the Jedi and Vector Prime, so New Jedi Order. About time.
I still have to get
into the new Jet Order series.
So I envy you.
Yeah, same here, man. Yeah.
Same, yeah, I need to get into that.
Yeah, so don't give us any spoilers. And Chewbacca dying is not a spoiler, that's common knowledge.
It should
It's
be
in the
by
first
now.
book anyway.
It's a
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah,
Bruce Willis is dead.
Jedi Order all the time anyways. So, I mean, you should know that by now.
New Jedi Order is pretty big. I mean, think of like your 10 favorite post Return of the Jedi characters. I'm pretty sure at least 2 of them die.
Good.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah.
That would be a safe bet.
Alright, so who's next?
I'll go.
Oh.
So I'm in between books right now on account of my channel. I review other things besides Star Wars, so I'm reading something different right now. But I just finished. I finished, of course. No, fuck you. I finished Darth Plagueis on Sunday, and I'm about to start Star Wars Devil World. It's a 2-issue miniseries that was written by Alan Moore, known for V for Vendetta and Watchmen, among other things.
Right.
And he wrote a story where they just let him do whatever he wanted, and they just made it not canon. But apparently, Matt's been talking to someone who apparently he can fit this into the canon because of a West End Games supplement called Inner Space, where aliens from another dimension come and try to eat the Star Wars EU, like they try to destroy it.
Wait. these aliens by any chance called Felonians?
No. these aliens are actually awesome. Unlike Felonians. And their flag does not have Ahsoka in a sensual position.
I like pictures, especially when they move.
Filoni likes covers of everything.
They like
Jeremy,
covers.
could you hold up the covers of those again? I'm not familiar with this.
This is because it's never been collected in anything. These are the
Worlds.
original single issue.
That.
Huh. I'll have to look that up. I've never even heard of it.
Yeah.
When you can get them, you can usually get them pretty cheap. I paid $2 for both of these. And I bought some other stuff with it, but I'm finally going to get to read these, and I'm really excited.
So it's
Hey,
only a
probably-
2-issue series?
It's a 2-issue mini.
Hmm.
It was one of the last classic Star Wars books, because back, for those of you who don't know, when Dark Horse took over, they reprinted a lot. They reprinted all of the Marvel Star Wars stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and they reprinted the comic book strips, along with adapting Han Solo at Star's End, one of the first EU books, into a 3-issue comic book series, and this was put in there. And then later they would do Splinter of the Mind's Eye and the Thrawn trilogy and Shadows of the Empire, just as their starting thing.
Right.
But yeah, that was it. They were so early into the EU, they just let Alan Moore do whatever he wanted. It's a really weird story. It's typical when you give Alan Moore too much power, is usually what happens.
Now, is Alan Moore in any way related to Dave Filoni?
No.
Alan Moore in any way related to Tim Moore? Jeremy,
Well,
What?
that's a strong
is
possibility.
Alan Moore in any way related to Tim Moore?
No. God damn it. People asking me the hard questions here.
Oh
Alright,
god.
who's
You want
next?
hard? I'll give you a hard, buddy.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Ben, why don't you go ahead, man?
What am I reading? Star Wars related. I started this book. I haven't gotten very far into it.
Oh, Hair to the Jedi?
Yeah. I might finish it, I might not, I don't know. Not so Star Wars related. I'm reading Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm not sure what issue because there's so many graphic novel collections that are just titled Guardians of the Galaxy. So I don't know what.
Okay, I'll give you a recommendation. The Brian Michael Bendis run, I think they just ended it. They just released a nice hardcover of the first couple trades put together. That's a good
Okay.
thing. Bendis is usually good.
Yeah, I like his work. Hair of the gray hair of that. I'm just reading Django's
That's Skywalker
stupid
venom.
comments.
Skywalker. So, Ben just showed the book, Heir of the Jedi, and it's saying Hair of the Jedi, so. It's not like stupid, I'm just something silly there.
Well, that's what Tim called it on Minox Nest. I ran with it.
And I'm gonna read that. Was it Lords of the Sith? I think they call it.
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
read that too.
I'll be reading that
See if it-
soon enough. Much to
See if it's any good.
I'll spam the video of the review to him like 12 times.
So it's about, I don't even know anything about it, but I'm guessing it's about Peter and Sidious? Like it doesn't deal with like
It's like a
previous
buddy
thousands of years ago?
I think so.
They're stuck on a planet, as I recall, or something like that. And then the first
Really good.
lesbian character in Star Wars. That's literally how the
The back cover synopsis is "Witness the Power of the Dark Side." So there you go. That's what
That's
it's
it?
about.
Well, I mean,
No, I'm looking on the inside jacket. I could read the whole synopsis if you want. Oh
No, you
no,
don't
it
have
has
to.
to do with rebellion or a resistance movement on Ryloth led by Cham Syndulla.
well, that's a terrible name.
That's a guy from Clone Wars TV show.
I don't. It's good that I don't
Never heard
care.
of it.
Oh, I'll
Yeah.
get there soon enough. I'm rewatching that series and suffering through it. I sit with my bottle of bourbon, pour it into a red Solo cup. Because I have glasses.
You ain't got no red solo, nothing.
You haven't read anything,
So-
Tristan?
I'm reading Tatooine Ghost. It's going okay, but I've been procrastinating reading it. I have no idea why.
That's
It's not.
Oh, go on.
That's the one with Han and Leia going back and finding out about like little Anakin Skywalker, right?
Right.
And the mother.
Yeah. It's not.
Yeah.
It's nothing special.
Mm-hmm.
It's just.
Any spoilers now?
It's just kind of.
Isn't it done by Troy Denning?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get to it.
I liked most of his stuff in Star Wars, but that one's just kind of
I like his stuff he did with West End Games. He wrote a lot of the supplements for it.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Those were fun to read.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's where he came from. I thought he just came on around the time that Bantam took over, or Overlord took over.
No, he'd been there. He'd been writing the RPGs, as I
Okay.
recall.
Learn something every
I
day.
think he continued. Yeah, I think he wrote some of the Wizard of the Coast ones too, but I could be wrong with that.
Didn't he do the Killick trilogy? What they call that? The Dark Nest
Dark
or whatever it is.
Who was Dark
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Dark
so. yeah.
Nest with
It's
a
the Dark
T. Like
The
More
trilogy
like the Killicks.
after the Yuuzhan Vong War.
yeah,
It's not immediately after. It's like several years after, but
But when you really figure out about how powerful someone really is, that will affect in the next series. I'm trying not to spoil things for Tristan here.
all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's going on with what I'm reading?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, might as well.
Are you actually gonna review
I
something?
am reading. Yeah, comic series pretty soon.
I'm
I
excited.
won't reveal it though. It's a surprise. I think you guys have an idea. I already mentioned it before, but I'm not gonna mention it now. Anyway, one right now is Wild Space Volume 2.
ooh,
Oh, I like that one.
All the weird stuff.
So,
Yeah.
no, actually, this is like pretty cool stuff. It's got visionaries,
Well,
which is like Tales.
when I mean by weird, I mean the odd stuff they didn't reprint a lot of.
Visionaries
Yeah.
was
They have a
Star
lot of
Wars on
Jabba
acid.
Hutt stories. Oh my god, Visionaries is amazing. Like,
No,
the
yeah,
artwork
I
is
like-
phenomenal.
I liked
Oh
it.
my god.
I mean, I love
It is
acid.
great.
No, I'm just I'm joking.
And our
The stories are done by the concept artist from
Mhm.
Episode 3, which is a really cool thing. And just the story. Some of these stories are just absolutely amazing. There's the Hot story, one about Dirge. Man, I mean, there's just a lot of great stories in here. Oh, Grievous. I mean, the origin of Grievous.
that's where that
Yeah,
came
that
from.
was.
Wasn't it
Yeah, it came
Visionaries
from
where
here.
they had the story of Darth Maul coming back and
yes,
attacking
that was
like the
one
Lars,
of
the Lars homestead and all that?
and that was the one that Dave Filoni's like, ooh, we gotta make that canon, guys. I like.
Yeah, he stole the Darth Maul.
He probably didn't even read it. He probably saw some images on the internet and he was like, Ooh, I love those covers. That cover.
Ooh, I love me them covers. I better tip back my knockoff Indiana Jones fedora here and write down something.
George wanted me to kill off Ahsoka, but I don't see why. I mean, Ahsoka can be in Star Wars Rebels. I mean, that'd be great. She teaches Luke Skywalker how to do stuff, And I can still
forever.
covers, and that Splinter of the Mind's Eye cover, that really scared me. It really spoke.
I'm telling you, man, he's read the entire EU. He has a book of just every single EU cover, and that's what he calls the EU. It's his book of covers. He just goes, ooh.
I'll show you what it is. It's the Star Wars panel to panel I have back there. Which I need a second one of those.
Okay. So, also, I want to mention that Wild Space Volume 2 also has a bunch of Jabba Hutt stories, but they're not that great.
From the Art of the Deal collection?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
And some of my favorites, this is not canon in any way, but the Tag and Bing stories. All of them.
I forgot Tag and Bing was in
Tag
there.
and Bing. They're freaking hilarious. I love them, guys. So it has Tag and Bink are dead #1 and #2, and the 2 issues that came out later, with episode 1 and episode what was it?
3. Wasn't it?
It was like 1, 2, and 3. Okay, it was episode 1, Revenge of the Clone Menace, The Return of Tag and Bink Special Edition.
Wasn't
that the one where like Tag and Bink are giving Anakin like advice on wooing a Padme?
Yeah.
Then a weird
just-
scene that Jabba Cut the Hutt comes in the background and starts talking to them.
Oh, that was so weird, dude. I thought a hand popped out of your shoulder because of the mirror. I'm like, dude, it's like a doll hand coming out of your shoulder. I mean, what's going on?
It's Chucky.
Wait, that's going to choke me. No, okay, there we go. It's choking me.
Oh, it looks more like it's groping you. or try to.
Your mind would go there immediately, Jeremy.
Let's try to give him a little tickle. You know what I mean?
Oh God.
Oh, anyway, go on, Jacob. I'm sorry.
I also have the Tales series as well, 1 through 9 of the comic series. I need to have them all. I want them all because if you guys don't know what Tales is, it's a series that came out from I think early 2000 to
06.
I believe 06. Yeah. So
last issue.
all these are just random stories. Some are canon. Very few is canon. Most of it is non-canon.
Well, technically none of it's canon, so if you listen to Disney.
Within the expanded universe, some of it was canon, actually.
Right.
Some of
I
it
know
fit.
that.
It makes sense. But these are just all incredible stories done by different writers and artists.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely must read. And it's a shame that these weren't in omnibus form. I would have loved to see these reprinted again.
In the Marvel Epic collections, they're reprinting some of the stories in them.
Really?
Oh, really? Tales?
Yeah, it's bizarre, I know. But I think they're going to reprint all of it, but they're going to tear it up. They're going to cut it apart naturally.
The Marvel Epic collections are reprinting Infinities with the Legends banner on them.
That to me is the funniest thing, and I think it's going to be more than one Infinities because they're going to put all the non-canon Tales stuff and collect it in there too.
It's the dumbest shit ever. It wasn't canon to begin with, anyway. It's Infinities, Legends, not canon.
It makes no sense.
We get it.
Yeah.
It's not canon.
For our
You can put
viewers,
two different things on there that says, "Hey, hello, not canon." Yeah, we get it.
okay.
Knew it wasn't canon to begin with. Because guess what, people? Luke didn't die in Empire Strikes Back. And what was that whole? Let's see.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Darth Vader never donned a white suit.
That was
God,
awesome.
that was so dumb.
That was awesome.
No, it was stupid.
Didn't go blind and have to wear giant Digimon goggles to see.
Wait, what about the giant Digimon goggles?
I know exactly
They
what
were
you're
trying to
talking
help him get his eyesight back, and that's why he was wearing them. In Infinity's Return of the Jedi, when he goes perma-blind.
Who?
Guys, explain Infinities as well, because the audience may not know.
Infinities were the first 3 stories that were meant to be not canon. They were what-ifs of the original trilogy. So, for instance, in A New Hope, it's what if when Luke went to blow up the Death Star, he shot the torpedo. It went in the Death Star, but it was a dud. So it destroys Yavin 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back is what if Luke died on Hoth. And Return of the Jedi is what if Leia dropped the thermal detonator and killed Jabba, and thus Boba Fett stole Han Solo.
I
The
remember
first was my favorite.
The first was the best. I
Mhm.
liked the second one pretty well also, like Leia following in Luke's footsteps,
Yeah.
going to Dagobah, all that stuff. Return of the Jedi, though, just wasn't that good.
I
This
like
one, by the
certain
way.
aspects of Return of the Jedi, like how they made
Yeah.
the clocks just kill everyone.
Yeah.
They were just psychotic. The Han Solo going
Man.
blind thing was interesting.
Yeah, it was different.
You missed one.
Oh
by the way.
yeah, now I remember what you're talking about with those Digimon goggles.
Yeah.
Freaking red sunglasses or something.
Yeah, they look like Digimon goggles, but red.
And
And I think they were supposed to. I'm not sure what they were. I thought they were supposed to make his eyesight better, like try to bring it back. But I
like
don't.
Geordi.
Yeah, it looked like. Well, they couldn't do the Geordi thing because that's trademark, probably.
Probably. The little visor.
You technically missed an Infinity story, kind of.
Which one?
The one in Heir to the Empire.
What story was that?
It wasn't a story as much as it was a what if, but it was what if Mara Jade had been allowed to go to the execution of Luke Skywalker.
Oh.
When was?
That
Where was?
little vision Luke had. Yeah.
When was? Is this an Heir to the Empire?
It's somewhere in the Throne trilogy. I think it's either Heir to the Empire or Dark Horse Rising.
I don't remember that at all.
You don't remember that?
No. But
Basically, like,
it's gotta have been like almost 10 years since I read the Thrawn trilogy,
No.
so
well,
probably
basically, like Luke shot R2 shot the lightsaber up, and then he went to grab it with the Force, but then Mara got it first. And
Oh,
grabbed the
yeah.
lightsaber, and then they prodded him off into the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah. Yep.
In the fight.
Yeah, it was like some sort of vision Luke had or something. Kind of a what if thing. That was kind of cool.
wasn't she technically there on the sail barge?
She wasn't. She was at Jabba's palace, but Jabba didn't let her go onto the sail barge.
Right.
Oh.
That was the whole what if of it.
Mhm.
What if she had been on that sail barge? She would have messed it all up.
They should have done Star Wars What If comic book series like what Marvel did with the Marvel What If.
Oh yeah.
That would have been awesome.
What
Well,
if
that's what
maybe-
they did with Infinities, and some of it with Tails.
hmm
That would be an interesting what if.
If Skippy the
All of
Jedi
Force
droid
Bailey Bothans didn't die when they got the Death Star plans.
If who?
If Forrest Phaelius Bothans didn't die on the Death Star plans, like his whole power came from the fact that his Bothans were essentially martyrs, and the fact that they found the Death Star plan. That launched his political career. That doesn't happen.
we wouldn't have one of the most annoying Star Wars characters of all time.
God, I hated Boris Fela.
Oh god. He was-
Imagine how much would have gotten done.
remember when what were
How
those?
much would have gotten done if they had just shot that dude in the head? Be like, you are standing in the way all the time.
Remember we
kill
got
him.
punched in the face in The Last Command by one of those Nagarai or whatever the things were that were protecting Leia?
Yeah, yeah. That was funny.
What punched him in the face? I laughed so
His
hard.
own crew, by the way, when his own crew mutinied at the end of Dark Horse Rising against him, he basically said,
That's so good.
I don't care about them. I just want to like further my career or something like that.
Yeah. That was great.
Good EU times. Oh.
Oh, I'm not gonna say it.
Well,
Yeah, that's pretty much all I'm reading anyway. So, Tales and
Well, that's
Lost
Tristan.
Space.
So I think that's all of us.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have no other topics. So you guys want to add anything?
Oh.
Oh, I had a question. When we were talking about our favorite EU like moment sort of thing or whatever, since we have the Legends banner, and if they ever continue it, which I really hope they do,
Cool.
what's one thing you would want to see in the EU besides Sword of the Jedi or Escape from Dagu?
What?
Though Escape from Dagu is the finished Clone Wars novel that's been shelved, and Sword of the Jedi is the sequel to Crucible that's all done. So, not counting those two things, is there
One thing.
what would you want out of the Legends banner?
So,
With this one thing.
not Sword of the Jedi or whatever the other one was.
Dagu.
Okay. I kind of wanted to see that. What was that one? It was a book that was going to be about Zach. Oh, you know who Zach was? Like, he was in the Young Jedi Knights thing or whatever, and then he was in Legacy of the Force.
Yeah.
And he was going to be. During a space battle or whatever, his fighter spun off and got lost in like the Hapes Consortium space, but and then they were gonna do, and then like in another one of the books, he just shows up and he's fine, and he's got like these new gal pals or whatever, and but they don't explain anything about it because they were going to write like a novel about it, and I kind of wanted to read it, and then they shelved that.
Mm-hmm.
So, not saying it would be anything spectacular or anything. I'm just, what was it called again? I'll find it. I'll find it eventually here. I just don't remember.
Jeremy, I'm cheating here, okay? I want to know how we got from Crucible to Legacy.
Oh yeah, I think we all want.
I want to know how the Imperial Knights were formed. You know, what happened with Luke's Jedi Order? How do you find Crook? And
Yeah.
the lineage, the line of Skywalkers and Solos that got us to Cade and Ron and Ronfell and Anya. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there's another one too, but I'm gonna see if anyone says it.
Django, do you want me to go, or do you have?
I think I have one. If they actually finished the Knights of the Republic series.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I almost don't know about that either because War was not good.
That was terrible.
War was most.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I feel like it ended on a good note on issue number 50, before War. It ended on a good note, but in between that, around like 10-something issues, it felt like complete like filler, and I just hated that. I thought it was really boring. After the what was it?
Not Cade. Zane's story finished us up.
Coruscant or whatever. Yeah.
I liked that.
I did too.
I mean, there were some parts I liked with Revan's mask.
Right, that was in there.
That was pretty cool.
I didn't know what that was because I hadn't finished KOTOR at that point. I still haven't finished KOTOR.
I haven't
like
either.
it, and I can see what you're saying about this because after 235, when Zane's story ends, you're so enthralled with the characters that you just want to see them continue to do stuff. So those last 15 issues for me was just like, okay, they're still in the galaxy rummaging through things. That's kind of why I can agree with you on that, because those last 15 issues were conditioning you to watch, them just having normal adventures. That didn't really have galactic importance.
Character development for
Character development.
the finale.
It was great.
Yeah. And here's the thing: in between those 15 issues, Zane and they weren't in it that much. Like together, they're like one of the best duos in Star Wars. Rival even Han Solo and Chewbacca.
Zane and Jiraiya.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more of a focus on Jeriel. Yeah.
Real, yeah.
I understand on her storyline, but it was really boring. I did not like her storyline, honestly.
Yeah,
The
I understand.
Crucible or whatever.
But that.
And Jeremy, I think you're next.
Do you want to hear mine?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sort of, something that's always fascinated me when I found it out. So we have Darth Krot. He's in his little Sith coffin on that. I can't even remember what planet it is. He sits there for like
Darth who?
Darth Krot,
Crit?
right, or whatever. The dragon. A shod head. So he sits.
Oh, yeah.
He sits there in his coffin for like 100 years. Luke knows he's there, but I want to know if Luke found out what he was and went to stop him, and that was how Luke perished, or if Luke just decided that there needed to be some sort of balance in the Force and that this wasn't doing anything, so he left it alone. Because he knows that Krot exists, but he doesn't know what it is.
That's right. Yeah.
Was it Fate of the Jedi that he figures that out? Or was it in Legacy of the Force?
It was Legacy of the Force.
Legacy of the Force
Because
was
there's like a part in there where Luke and basically Luke's spirit and Crate's spirit work together against Aboleth, and or was it Abeloth?
I don't remember, but it was awesome. I remember that.
Well, okay, this kind of just a quick little tidbit of info here. I always get those confused because in Dungeons and Dragons there's a creature called an Abeloth or Aboleth.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then there's that character named the other thing, and the difference between them is switching the O and the E. So I can never remember which is which.
Here's an interesting way to put that. Maybe because, what was his name? His Kratz Weilark, or I think that's what he called himself.
Yeah.
He mentioned that he was like the second or third. Maybe Luke traveled all the way to where he was, killed like whatever Weilark, and got to his tomb, and then a vision of the Force, like, told him it wasn't right to kill him. It wasn't his destiny to defeat Krat. That was for one of his heirs to do, and he just followed that suit.
That could be.
But I could see after what happens after Crucible, I could see the three going to this planet, and whether they made it out of there or not, or whatever, I don't know. Han probably flying into a sun or something to save save a planet or something with the Falcon. Something to let up.
That'd be so fitting if Han was also killed by a moon.
Oh man.
Yeah, that would be my one. So, Dylan, what was did someone say the other one you wanted to talk about?
No, I didn't. No, they didn't. I want to know more about the Dawn of the Jedi era because I've always been fascinated with the Jedi. I want to know, like, basically we got that these diamond-like things went to all the planets, called out through the Force, and all the Force sentient beings went to them and they took them to Typhon. Typhon.
Were those the Infinity Gates or whatever?
Yeah. I want to know, like, when they got there, what happened? Like, how did they form their philosophy? How did they communicate with each other? And how did the Jedi like form? And then after that, in the Battle of the Rakata, what happened with the Great Schism? Like, how did that start? How did that?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, one that I always thought was fascinating was the Jawas and Tusken Raiders were originally one race.
Mm-hmm.
How did they form into two different?
And then coinciding with that, rise and fall of the Rakata and the formation of the Republic.
Well, with Dawn of the Jedi, I think it was the first volume that it was on the planet Tatooine, and the Rakatan were there.
Mm-hmm.
And what the people would become, like, the people there didn't have any masks or anything, so I'm guessing they would turn later into the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, what happened was, and I looked this up, but the planet was like a paradise, and then it got devastated by the Rakata. So like half the people turned into half the people went into the caves as hiding from the sunlight, and they became the Sand People. The other half went to the when someone like lived in the sun, they became the Jawas.
Okay.
And wasn't Tatooine a lush planet?
It was, and then it got destroyed by the Rakata and became a desert.
Go
ahead.
I love when planets get destroyed by the Force. I think it's one of the most fascinating things in Star Wars.
I like when planets get destroyed in general.
Yeah, I mean, like
they killed 2 planets.
Yeah, but I mean, like when in like the end of
3 planets.
Darth Bane Path of Destruction or Jedi versus Sith, because they happen at the same time. The Thought Bomb.
Mm-hmm.
That pretty much just ravaged that planet and killed almost everything on it. Like,
I like the Thought Bomb's portrayal in that old comic Jedi versus Sith, which was like the first telling of kind of Bane's story.
Mm-hmm.
Before the Darth Bane trilogy further elaborated on that.
Darth Bane, yeah.
And I like the fact that also like you know, with the Thought Bomb, like it's just such a sick and twisted device that like all these people are just now, all these souls are just like in this like crazy little ball or whatever.
It's in a bubble.
And and then in Tales of the Jedi, I think with Exar Kun, he encountered this tomb, and he saw like all these souls of like these Jedi in Korriban, and then later on they would be freed in some way. But it's crazy how you could like, how do you get like these Jedi souls and just encase them or in some way? Like that's so creepy. Like how does that happen?
Well, Fourth is like it's a catch-22 because it's like so interesting. The more you find out about it, the more it loses that like.
It will be like when they made Red Harvest and they explained why zombies were in the Star Wars EU.
I did like Red Harvest though. I thought it was pretty neat.
I liked Red Harvest except for the characters.
That's true.
And everything else.
Because there's some really, Dylan, there are some really cool scenes in it, like a zombie tauntaun.
Mm-hmm.
Zombie tauntaun is, believe it or not, one of the coolest things ever.
The thing I really liked about Death Troopers and Red Harvest was the way they characterized the infection.
Mm-hmm.
The infection itself was pretty much almost a character.
Yeah.
It's like people who became infected and started becoming zombified or whatever.
Especially Red Harvest, they really.
Yeah, they just like hear these whispers and suggestions of all these horrible things they should do, and come join us, all that kind of stuff, you know. I just thought it was a really neat way to look at like a zombie infection, just in like the whole zombie literature as a whole.
Yeah. Another one that I always thought was fascinating was ripping the force out of someone.
Yes.
Like when Nomi Sunrider does the Ulic Dromo.
And that's another thing with Dawn of the Jedi, because a lot of people have theorized that the Vong were somewhere in the galaxy during the Dawn of the Jedi era because they were probably losing their connection with the Force. So there's a thought that maybe the Vong are related to that and that they're outside the Force because of something they did in that era. And that's also why they were exiled and had to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to see if that theory is indeed correct or if that's just people spitballing like the Anakin is Jesus theory.
Oh, are you going to bring up that Plagueis theory?
Yeah.
Because that is the weirdest theory. Okay, so in the Darth Plagueis, when I'm going to go into spoilers here, people, a little bit. I'm sorry.
You ain't spoiling shit.
You shut your whore mouth, Tristan. You don't get to say anything because you've been gone for a while. You know? Okay, so there's this thought process where they believe that Plagueis and Sidious's experiments with the dark side caused such a ripple that the Force had to inhabit metachlorians to produce life. And people say that Anakin is that experiment. But how would the Jedi Order not know that happened? There's only so much manipulation you can do. I don't think the two of them would have been powerful enough to hide something like that. I believe at least Yoda would have felt something like that in the Force.
Well, the whole idea with their experiments was to kind of shift the Force more towards the dark side and thereby blind the Jedi. So, I mean, it's basically said, like in Plagueis, that when they do that, when they accomplish that, if Anakin truly is a complete and opposite reaction to their dark side ritual, it wasn't an immediate one. Like, it happened sometime later. So by that time, the Jedi's sight, they felt the Force being shifted.
Did
And
they feel it from that? I know they felt it when in part 2 when the climax happens on Coruscant, which I'm not going to go into any spoilers about.
Right.
That they felt it then because they stepped in, but it was too late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, see, also, I think that they did, like when they actually completed the ritual. I think that's when they felt it. But of course, you know, the book is from the villain's perspective, so they don't really discuss too much, like what the Jedi are doing, whether they're onto Plagueis and Sidious immediately or not. You know,
Or maybe they had some other distraction that was keeping the Jedi busy. I mean,
right. That could be too. Yeah.
It's Plagueis and like Palpatine planting seeds here or there and causing under the table things happening.
All these crises. That's the best part of the book, is all the crises that happened that were dealt with in other stories that suddenly converged.
Yeah.
Then you figure out who was responsible.
Yeah. Even stuff in Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah. That was a really great book.
Oh, so good.
Do we have anything else? We've been going for about an hour and 45 minutes now.
Yeah, it's almost 2 hours. No, I don't have anything else. You guys in?
No.
All right.
I could talk Star Wars all night, but I don't think our viewers will want that.
I like how we ended it. That's a really good topic, Jeremy. That was really good.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, we could talk about it forever, like what we want in this new
Right.
Pretty awesome. Oh man. Anyway, this just about wraps it up for the Hangouts. And if you guys could please like and comment down below what you think of the Hangout. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Thank you guys so much for joining. Ben, finally you could join.
You're welcome.
After the first Hangout. I know you've been busy, so I understand.
Ben's a busy man.
Dylan, as always.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Ben. Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's fine. Like even today, I worked a long shift, and I was like, I'll just go home and play some video games. And I was like, oh yeah, there's that Hangout tonight. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks for joining, man.
Yeah,
Really
no
appreciate it.
problem.
Gotta do this again. And guys, please be sure to check out the Facebook group, Star Wars Reviewers, and the links will be down below in the description, as well as the Star Wars Expanded Universe Continues website. Please show your support and check out that website. And yeah, that's about it. And make sure to check out Jeremy's channel as well, and subscribe to his channel. Tristan. Yep. Dylan, as always. Check out their Facebooks, Twitter, everything. So we'll see you guys. Yeah, Minox Test as well. Forgot about that. Sorry. And and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Bye.
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 Ah.